Katsina, despite being the home state of President Muhammadu Buhari, has witnessed sporadic attacks by bandits and kidnappers recently. In a most callous manner, bandits stormed the house of the late district head and abducted some members of his family, including his widow, barely 24 hours after his death. Meanwhile, more than 20 corpses were dumped at the main gate of the Plateau State government's house by angry youths following attacks in Jos North local government area of the state. Let's start from Katsina State. Jide, what's the story about the widow being attacked at 24 hours, barely 24 hours after the demise of her husband?
Yes, the husband was the district head, Yemba Kusada, the hometown of the middle past speaker of the Katsina State House of Assembly, who was the youngest speaker of his generation. And the man died, and you couldn't even give them a breather. The man died within 24 hours, you went to kidnap the widow. It just shows that these bandits are not human beings.
Yeah.
They're not human beings. They have no loyalty to any religion. Don't preach Islam to them because they don't believe in any religion. Don't preach Christianity to them. A lot of them are animists. They are unbelievers. Because the question to ask yourself is, how can an individual...
Some of them believe that they are Muslims, but
Yes.
they are not Muslims.
They are not Muslims. No, don't
Muslims
even
will
preach
tell
it to
them that
them.
these are not Muslims.
Don't preach it to them. How can an individual realize that somebody had just lost a husband? Then you go and kidnap that widow at a time when she was mourning. You know? So this is what happened. We have a situation in which at least 12 local governments are being harassed by bandits in Katsina. The governor said 10 of those local governments, the attacks are literally daily. But the local governments that come under attack, there are about 12 of them. So the people on their own now, they are trying to see how they can even defend themselves against these attacks. Basari, Safana, you know, all of these local government, just attacks. And the same people, they will attack you and then move into Zamfara because they share border. They will attack you, move into Kaduna, especially the Brunei area, because they share border.
From Zamfara to Kaduna.
Sabwa shares border with Kaduna State. And it's one of the local governments that are constantly under attack. So that's why I said, look, the best solution is still, in my view, the military campaign. I don't believe that we cannot defeat these guys.
No.
We have made, the governor of Katsina State has made efforts more than his mates to solve this problem. He tried the peaceful means. He committed money to the efforts of the military. Yet we don't have the breeder. They just came back from Libya now, where more than 1,000 people have been displaced by bandits. Bandits are now taking over communities where our people used to live. In Katsina, in Zamfara, people are now forced to go and live in Niger Republic. That is the extent to which they are provoking us as a people. And we have to respond to this provocation by dealing decisively with them.
How come Katsina is not even being given a kind of priority, being that Mr. President's hometown? And when you look at the number of bandits, the operation of bandits around, at the point in time, the governor was even helpless. The governor had to tell people that look for a way to defend yourself.
He was shedding tears now when the Kankara boys were kidnapped. You see, for criminals, it's even an incentive that's the state where the president comes from. So instead of being a deterrent, for criminals, it's actually more of an incentive. Then in terms of this lady that was kidnapped, I believe the attraction was the fact that, the speaker, the former speaker. So maybe as this man died, money will come in. So if you grab the woman, then you make money. You see, when you look at the way these people reason, I mean, it defies logic. But the thing is this: you can, just like Jay said, you cannot try to rationalize things with these people. So the best thing is use heavy-handed tactics on them. And then again, the Minister of Police Affairs, I really strongly disagree with him by saying that the Nigerians should not arm themselves. What are you talking about? People ordinarily have machetes in their homes.
And it's the same person who said they should defend themselves.
People who have people have bows and arrows in their homes, even stones. These are weapons, and you're telling people not to defend themselves. Well, are you now saying that communities, for instance, that have formed vigilante groups and successfully repelled criminal elements should just sit by and wait for the police? How many policemen do you even have out there on the street? The vehicle, they have constraints of vehicles. They have constraints, logistics, and a lot of these things. Now this is the area we're talking of community policing. The minister ought to find solution the way you bring the people in, because that's very key. While we are talking about the security agencies, you need to talk about the people. What role will the people play to repel these people? So what it means is that if you are saying the people should not arm themselves, then the security agency should get these people, train them in, train them as vigilante groups, so that, form them into vigilante groups like Masari has done in Katsina State. And then they will also help to gather intelligence. You will see that these bandits will flee.
Ibrahim is calling us from Kaduna State.
Hello.
Yes, Ibrahim, good evening. Hope you are safe.
We are safe, and we continue to be safe. So, well, thank you for using it. It's quite interesting. At least we are from Kaduna State. I've been trying the line, but it wasn't connected. But thank God. You see, the security challenges we are facing, despite all the hurdles, one day God will see us through. You see, this thing that happened in NDA yesterday, in fact, it's unfortunate, and it did a slap on our security personnel, and indeed Nigeria. Why did I say so? You see, we have been saying this thing. Banditry, all their mission is to destroy. There need to be prescribed. I just need to say this with wholeheartedly. The state of Nigeria that they have been talking, like the way Babajide has said, it's true, it will not work unless they allow the military to operate free hand. If not, the step they are taking now is that they are just trying to tell us that wherever you are, we are more than your security agents. How many are there for us? We know. Look, what's the essence of register the things that you have registered all this while? From their network. Through that, they can fit these people out. Secondly, again, you can see, you are moving the street now, you don't know the next, you don't know what will happen to you. What is this? Security challenge will be everybody's business now. Let Nigeria give us all the power and all the strength. Let everybody have his own, but not by having their own weapons. I'm not subscribed to that.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Ibrahim, the second half of it is this Plateau State. And it's like it's a state that has descended into lawlessness and anarchy, and I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's uncontrollable. In spite of the curfew, 24 hours curfew in the northern part of, people still find a way to still come and kill people. And out of frustration, these youths, I saw it on video yesterday, just had to carry the dead bodies to, on anger to the government house.
Yes, because they want action from the governor. They want results. They want a solution. You can imagine losing a loved one who committed no crime.
No crime.
Because these wicked people will simply go in their desire to avenge the deaths of their own people, go and kill someone who was not involved in your quarrel. You just go and kill innocent people. We've lost even UniJOS students have been lost to this conflict.
No, parents are even pulling out their children.
Yes. So the thing is, for them, they have not seen the quality efforts on the part of the governor of Plateau State. They have not seen quality efforts. Going to the president to tell him that, look, you are on top of the situation, peace is gradually returning, only for people to come to kill 36 persons The day after you visited the president to boast about peace that was not there. You know, that is the thing. So the people want to see results. If you are a governor and you are promising the people that, look, I'm in position to protect you. You elected me to protect you. And if you cannot protect those people, then their blood will boil, and they will come to you and say, see, what is going on? How can you be here and they are killing us in this manner? That is, I mean, it had reached the tipping point for those youths. That was why they went to that extent.
Out of frustration.
And it happened at the time when curfew was supposed to be in place. What kind of curfew?
Those youths, they are boiling.
What kind of curfew do we have in Plateau that people get killed even during curfew? People form roadblocks looking for their enemies to kill, and we say there is curfew. What kind of curfew is that? Is the military simply overwhelmed, the armed forces overwhelmed, that they cannot enforce the curfew? It's not even in Kaduna State, we've had situations, people killed in Zongo Katab, and we will hear that curfew has been imposed. And during that period, more people get killed. I mean, it's difficult to explain. Come from all kinds of places, come in the night. You know that these areas will come under attack. You must find a way to protect the people. How can we have a situation in which the 3 division of the Nigerian army is in that located in that Basa local government, and they'll be killing themselves for weeks? You can't stop it.
Because the case in Plateau State is quite different from what the insecurity we have in the north. These are not bandits at all. These are, you know, conflict between between religion and ethnic groups.
Yeah, you see, I watched a special report. I don't remember the station that did it yesterday evening, and honestly speaking, I came away with certain impressions. Those youths were so angry that if guns get into the hands of those youths, what the level they can get to, it can just be imagined, you know. So with
for how long would they continue to take law into their hands?
With that anger, and these are youths. They're angry that they keep saying that, okay, people are arrested, they are not brought to book. You take people, you know, when these things arise, sometimes they even say, they alert security agencies that we understand though that there's going to be an attack from so and so and so, and the security agencies will not respond. So that's the question I'm asking. The security agencies should tell Nigerians what are their impediments, what is preventing them from putting an end to all of this. And then again, the peace building effort. When these things happened, there were certain individuals that were making some very inciting comments, talking about reprisals and all that. Okay, fine, the reprisals are taking place. Now go and carry the dead bodies and keep in your house as monuments, as mementos. Why there are people? You see, we should also end this culture of irresponsibility. You see, trading with the lives of innocent people as if they are just as if they are cannon fodder.
We are just biased people.
When there is
when
you have crisis, what do you do? Whether at the federal level, whether at the state level, local government level, you have to come together. Politicians should set aside their differences and come together. Abusing yourselves, abusing yourselves in statements and on social media will not.
It will only incite people.
It will only incite people. Come together.
That's why we have this surprise.
The solution to all this lies in the hands of the leaders
of each of these groups. Okay.
State.
All right. Finally on the show now.
Okay. I think one of our friends corrected me that the village head of Kofa, which is located in Kusada, in Katsina State, was the person whose wife was kidnapped, not village head of Kusada. Kofa is located within Kusada, and is the home village of Kabir Kofa, former speaker of the state during the time of Yaradua. Okay. So that's the correction that they wanted us to.
Katsina State. All right.